So 5 things that we're going to keep an eye out for in the Premiership this weekend. Done with Chelsea, all this negativity. Let's look for something positive. Let's start with Leicester Watford. I mean, I think this could be a really, really good game. 2 strikers in form. Jamie Vardy, absolutely on fire. Odion Igalo, 2 goals last weekend. This could be a really, really entertaining game. Some good players up front. Vardy's already scored 8 games in a row. He'll fancy his chances to increase that to 9 games against newly promoted Watford. But Watford are doing well too, so I think this could be a really, really bright game. I do fancy Leicester to win and to keep their run going. It's amazing. Of the last 17 goals, I think 15 have come in the second half. So this is a team that really, really never says die. And, I think Claudio Ranieri has really, really confounded a lot of his critics, including myself so far. And, he's doing a really, really good job. Jamie Vardy for England. And I think this will be 3 points, I think, for Leicester. But I think it could be a cracking game as well. And now we have to go to Old Trafford and Manchester United, or to call them by the full name, Manchester United 0. Well, they managed a goal in midweek against CSKA Moscow, Wayne Rooney with a headed goal, but they're in trouble with their own fans. Van Gaal was booed for taking off Anthony Martial during the week and bringing on Marion Fellaini. To be honest, that's probably enough to make anyone boo. But I mean, if you're struggling to score goals, Tony Pulis' side is probably one that you don't want to meet. Admittedly, Leicester managed to knock 3 past them, but they've got Vardy power, so this is going to should be a home win for Manchester United, but West Brom could provide, really sort of obstinate opposition for them. I think Manchester United badly need not just a win, but they need a performance. They need a couple of goals. They need to get Rooney back in there. They need to get Martial firing. So I'll be looking to see if Manchester United can come up with an improved performance. They did have Champions League during the week, so West Brom will really fancy the chances of getting a point here, I think. So it could be a tougher test for the Reds. Now, another thing I'm going to be looking for this weekend is West Ham and whether they can bounce back after that pretty dismal result against Watford. They've been excellent the previous week, beating Chelsea, but last weekend was terrible. I have no idea what Andy Carroll was doing. In fact, I don't think anyone on the planet has any idea what Andy Carroll was doing. But West Ham, they've been a good side so far this season. They've been bright. Slaven Bilic has actually been a breath of fresh air. Everton themselves are pretty similar. They can be good one week, not so good the next. So I think if we're going to take West Ham seriously as a Europa League contender, for one of those slots rather than through fair play, they're certainly not going to be going in through fair play this season. 4 red cards in the Premiership already. But if they are going to get into those European slots and stay there, then this is the kind of game I really feel that they need to win, because Everton are the kind of club that are going to be around there with them. I love watching Dimitri Payet. He's worth the entrance money alone. A really, really good player. Everton have got some good players themselves, but I think Bilic really needs to show that they've got a game plan at home. They've certainly been very good away from home, but at home, can they impose themselves on a decent opposition such as Everton and win the game? This will give us a really good indicator of where West Ham are going this season. Now, just taking a look at Sunday's fixtures, and I'm going to be really looking to see whether Remy Gard can make any kind of instant impact at Aston Villa. He'll have had the week with the players. Obviously, they got beat on Monday night at Spurs. It may help that he's a Frenchman. I mean, I don't think many of the French players spoke Sherwood, but then, hey, I don't think the English players did either. I think, Remy Gard has been brought in, hopefully to try and marry the two philosophies together, the same as he did when he was Wenger's first signing at Arsenal all those years ago. But, obviously 5 days is not a long time on a football training pitch, and he does not have the players that Arsene Wenger had at Arsenal back in the day. They should be cannon fodder for Manchester City, who are excellent in their victory in Seville during the week. But, City again coming off the back of a European game. It is Tuesday to Sunday, so they've had plenty of rest time, and then get their preparation in again for the weekend. This should be a shoe-in for City, but I think for Villa fans, they probably aren't expecting anything from this game, but what they will want to see is signs of improvement in the team, some organisation, some heart as well, and just some signs that there's some light at the end of what has been a very, very long tunnel for for the beleaguered Villa fans. So we'll be looking to this game and see whether Gard possibly has the tools to get them out of this very big hole they find themselves in. Now the last thing I'm going to be looking for this weekend is a real managerial head-to-head, I think, in the North London derby between Pochettino and Wenger. I mean, Arsenal have had the wood over Spurs for so long now. I mean, since Wenger came to Arsenal, Spurs have only managed 7 wins in this fixture, and that's through all the League Cups and the FA Cups and whatever else they've played in. Arsenal have absolutely, just done a number on Spurs consistently for the last 19 years. Spurs fans may have, been feeling they're getting closer to Arsenal in the last few seasons, but Arsenal really look like title contenders again this year. Except, of course, in Munich on Wednesday night, they'll be glad that Bayern are not in the Premiership. Absolutely hammered 5-1. Now it'll be interesting to see how Wenger sets his team up. Is he really going to go and attack Spurs, which should be his natural inclination? And what are Spurs going to do? They're going to be playing. They'll be coming off the back, of their game against Anderlecht. But, they've typically stuck out a bit of a second-string team in the Europa League. So both teams should be fit and, ready to go for the fixture. I mean, the fans will certainly give them lots of encouragement. But I think this is a chance for Arsenal to really sort of stamp their authority, all over North London again. But Pochettino, he's really starting to get things together, I think, at Spurs. Harry Kane scoring goals again. Dele Alli looks a really good player. Eriksen, we've spoken about many, many times before. There's some signs at Spurs that things are going in the right direction. It's not a disaster for Spurs if they get beat here. They can still make the top 4. I don't think the results against the top clubs are really going to define Spurs' season this year. But Arsenal need to bounce back after that Bayern result, which was absolutely terrible. Spurs will provide much less stern opposition than Munich did, but they'll be just as, if not more motivated than the Germans were. Should be a really, really entertaining game. It usually is. Usually, a few cards flying around and a few goals. I'm looking for Arsenal to take the win, but be interesting to see whether Pochettino can get at Wenger tactically, and we'll see how this one plays out.